Reverend gentlemen and ladies, our CARICOM partners, and the representative of the great Roman Empire, ladies and gentlemen, and to our Consul General and to Shayla Cartwright, who I understand headed the committee to bring these celebrations here today. There is a script that goes as follows in part, and it says the following: when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, and in today's language, and women, are created equal, and the government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. Bahamians followed that, and in 1973 dissolved the bonds between ourselves and the United Kingdom, the political bonds, and declared ourselves a free and sovereign people. And the preamble to our Constitution says the following: no man, woman, or child shall be a bondsman or slave. In 2019, a hurricane named Dorian struck the Bahamas and devastated the northern islands, to the point where even today there are some 1,200 people missing and not accounted for. But I was invited to a meeting in 2020, about 6 months or so after the hurricane, with some Americans of means in Fort Lauderdale. And they told me that on the day after the storm, they did not wait to hear officially from the government of the Bahamas to be invited to come. They jumped on their individual aircrafts and helicopters, flew to Abaco in Grand Bahama, brought water and food to help save people who they considered their friends, kith, and kin. So that is the story of the relationship which endures between the United States of America and ourselves. And this is the story, I dare say, throughout the CARICOM region, from Bermuda in the north down to Trinidad and Tobago and Suriname and Guyana in the south. These are the bonds that bind us together. They're human ties, kith and kin. And if you don't believe me, see if you go to St. Kitts or Barbados or indeed the streets of Nassau, if you can tell by dress and distinguish between the youngsters in Miami and the youngsters who walk the streets of those cities in those islands. The dress is the same, the lingo is the same, their aspirations are the same. So we are kith and kin. Last evening at a dinner which was hosted by the Acting Consul General, a woman by the name of Alexis Snyder, who is and was the representative last night of Bahamian descendant U.S. Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, told the story of spending her summer times in Nassau in major subdivision behind Just Right Bakery, run by Mr. Saunders, every summer as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. So she knows the island, the country, the city. The United States, then, is in fact the lifeline of the Bahamas. There are 400,000 of us and 350 million of you. But notwithstanding these sizes between us, there is a real imperative that binds us in a social contract that we, as a smaller people, have a right to exist and we have a right to our culture, one which has been respected by you, the larger neighbor. It has not been one way, because we have given physical and intellectual capital to this country. Today, the president of the USPGA is a young man who grew up in Chippenham in New Providence. We have a basketball player recently joined the Philadelphia 76ers who was born in the States but grew up in Bimini by the name of VJ Edgecombe. And of course, we all know the story of Sidney Poitier and Esther Rolle, whose entire family, but for her, was born in Exuma, and she's buried today in the Deerfield Cemetery. Because you are the lifeline, and a real lifeline, because we spend $5.4 billion in the United States market to import goods to supply our tourist industry. 1.2 billion of that is spent right here in South Florida. We get our food, our education, our health care, and our security from this country. And on the other hand, we provide almost 11 million of your citizens with a place to enjoy themselves, to relax, and to have a great vacation. Michael Manley, when he was Prime Minister of Jamaica, pointed this out 2 generations ago. It is a symbiotic relationship between the CARICOM region and the United States. And much, much more beyond the vacation time and the relaxation and the contribution to mental health thereby. Our countries, the Bahamas and the CARICOM region, provides much needed security for the United States of America. Why do I say all of this? Because as times change, the story gets forgotten of who we are and how we are tied to this country. And the story must be told every day, over and over again, to remind citizens of this country, its government, and to remind our own citizens of the relationship which exists between the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the wider CARICOM region, and the United States of America, and why, despite the asymmetries in our sizes, we depend and need one another. I wish, therefore, to thank all of you for coming today to join with us in this joyous celebration of 52 years of our Declaration of Sovereignty. We are very proud of the country we have. We are proud to be your partners in world affairs. And as we go forward, we look forward to increasing the ties which bind. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Amen. And God bless the United States of America.